Here we go, a typical day behind the wheel. Everything's cool, right? Oh, hi, come on in. I'm just putting together a few things for a session on city driving. I've got a handful of newer drivers, but mostly I'll be talking to drivers who've been around for a while and know the ropes. Some of them have been on the road longer than I've been doing this. Truth be told, it's a lot easier to present to the new guys because they expect me to cover all the basics. With experienced drivers, it's always a little harder. I don't want to talk down to them, but still I need to cover much of the same ground. And city driving is just one of those topics that need to be revisited from time to time. Think about it, city driving. What image pops into your mind when I say those words? Busy, narrow streets, buildings blocking your view, congested traffic, pedestrians rushing about. Maybe a specific city even comes to mind, one you've driven in before, or one you drive in often. Some drivers shudder at the thought of city driving and go out of their way to avoid it, while others have no problem with it. Heck, for whatever reason, some of them actually enjoy it. I guess that's not a total surprise, right? Because it takes a unique set of skills and the right attitude to be successful driving in our cities. In a training session, I might start out by asking, what is city driving? Is it taking the bypass and dealing with high-speed, bumper-to-bumper traffic, everyone racing to make their exits? Or is it driving into the often narrow, crowded byways of our oldest cities, charged with making a delivery in streets that were never meant for big trucks? We know the answer is both of these, and 100 other situations. It's driving around the outer rim of the city, and it's venturing into the bowels of the city. In either case, you encounter an increased volume of traffic, traveling at varying speeds, and a level of intensity that's not normally experienced in most of your over-the-road driving. The hazards come at you from either side, from ahead and behind, from above and below. Have you ever noticed that you seldom, if ever, worry about dozing off or losing attention while driving in and around the city? There's a reason for that. Your heart's beating a little faster. The adrenaline's pumping. All of your senses are telling you that this is not the place to let your guard down. Let's start with railroad crossings. If the lights are flashing and the gate is down, you relax and wait. If the lights are flashing and the gate's about to go down, or there is no gate, you slow down, stop, relax, and wait. If the crossing is uncontrolled, you slow down, look and listen again, and proceed with caution, or stop if a train is coming. Easy. Oh, yeah, and don't forget to keep an eye on your ground clearance at all rail crossings. Intersection shouldn't be a big deal either. I mean, really, how big a brain does it take, right? You see a yield sign, you slow down to a near stop, you look both ways, and you either proceed or stop, depending on whether or not there's traffic coming from either direction. Finally, backing. Is there a more difficult, even terrifying maneuver when driving in the city? It would be nice if we could simply stick with the first and last rule of backing. Don't. Unfortunately, that's not how it works. In the best case scenario, the customer will have anticipated our arrival with traffic cones and a spotter who will run interference for us with other traffic and direct us safely into our parking space. This does occasionally happen. Mostly it doesn't. First step is to get your vehicle as far out of traffic lanes as possible. Next is to warn other traffic. Turn on your four-way flashers. If you have a safety vest, put it on. If you don't keep a safety vest in your kit, you should get one. Carefully exit your cab and do your best to properly place your emergency warning triangles. If you're involved in an accident, follow your company's required procedures and notify proper authorities. Avoid traveling or parking in dimly lit or high-risk areas. And use common sense. Stay ever aware of your rigs, your cargoes, and your own safety. That's it. As I said at the outset, city driving is one of those subjects that's easier to address with new drivers who are open and willing to hear it all than those drivers who've been at it for years. But like one of my favorite old school driver training mentors used to say, it's what you learn after you know it all that counts. Boy, he sure had that right.